It is 4 p.m. We're bringing developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. Some stores are watching this Friday weekend, March 14.
Happy Friday.
Former President Duterte is set to face the International Criminal Court in The Hague for the first time today. His pretrial hearing will begin at 2 p.m. in The Hague or 9 p.m. Manila time and will be broadcast with a 30-minute delay on the ICC website. During the proceedings, judges will verify Duterte's identity and inform him of the charges against him under the Rome Statute.
The Supreme Court denies the request for an immediate temporary restraining order sought by former President Rodrigo Duterte and Senator Bato de la Rosa. The request is part of their petition, which sought to stop the government from cooperating with the ICC. Senator Amy Marcos refused to attend an administration campaign sortie in Tacloban. She cited her disapproval of former President Duterte's arrest. President Marcos earlier maintained that his administration did not collaborate with the ICC but simply complied with Interpol commitments.
And former PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde tells News 5 in an exclusive interview that he is ready to be arrested by the ICC. However, he warns that surrendering former officials sets a troubling precedent for ordinary citizens. He's among the former presidents co-accused in the ICC case.
We are preparing for this, of course, no? Pero kung talagang, sabi ko nga, kung talagang isusubo tayo ng gobyerno, then wala po tayong magagawa. Kasi after serving this country for almost 38 years, kung ito po ang isusukli ng ating gobyerno sa atin, wala po tayong magagawa.
And joining us today from the Philippine Star, Editor-in-Chief Ami Pamintuan, who joins us from Parañaque City. Oy,
hi, happy Friday, happy weekend.
Weekend ka na ngayon ah.
Ready na to hit the beach.
Oh.
Ready na ako for summer.
Oh. Nauna lang tayo ni Tito Ronald kasi Tito Ronald, saan nagpunta? May beach ba siya?
Nagbabakasyon na sa Dagupan.
He has a briefing. May briefing daw siya
okay.
for some top secret high-level visit. So he can't join us today.
Ano lang yun, bumibili lang yun ng dagupan bangos.
Paano naisip yun? Hindi ko na-gets yun. Teka, may inside story ba yun?
Papunta siya ng dagupan eh.
Ay, hindi, nakabalik
Papunta
na.
siya ng dagupan.
He's back.
Ba yun ang sa Bishops nung isang araw?
Oh, kaya nga.
Nakabalik
sa
na siya.
Dagupan.
Nakabalik na.
Ibang tropa naman ito ngayon.
Father Sok.
Ibang tropa
Bishop
naman ito
Sok,
kasama
I
niya
mean.
ngayon. I think mga diplomats na mga kasama niya ngayon.
Ganun ba?
Humingi yata siya ng visa.
Yes.
Baka pupunta rin siyang Netherlands.
Maybe. We don't know. Biglaan na lang ito nag-a-announce si Ronald.
Hindi naman niya kailangan ng Schengen visa. Kakagaling lang niya ng Vatican eh.
Oh, so may Schengen visa pa siya.
Nag-Vatican lang.
Schengen ng Netherlands.
Diba,
siya.
yabang-yabang niya, ka-picture taking niya si Pope tsaka si Cardinal Ambo. Ambo David.
Cardinal Ambo.
Okay.
Talagang si Ronald talaga, malapit na sa mga obispo eh. Kasi ang mga makasalanan talaga.
Sabi ko na eh.
Oh, talaga. Extra work yun para sa obispo, di ba?
They see him as a challenge.
Yung mga lost sheep, yung mas mahirap yung
They're trying to bring back the lost sheep. Ganun.
They see him as practice.
Kawawa talaga pag wala yun nandito eh. No? Okay, we're still talking about the Duterte arrest and now we know he is appearing in front of the pre-trial chamber, the one that issued his warrant of arrest tonight, 9 p.m. We will have special coverage with Ed Lingao on that.
Gagabihin na naman tayo.
And Cecilon, So, yun. That's that's 9 o'clock tonight Philippine time, pero may 30-minute delay.
Oo. Yung streaming, yung web
streaming. So everybody can watch it on the website. I shouldn't say that, so you watch us instead.
So at this, ito yung tinatawag nila na confirmation of charges hearing in which they will determine, number one, that he is the person that is the subject of this criminal arrest warrant. Number two, that he has been read his rights. Ano yung number three?
Okay, I'm looking for it. I know I wrote it here somewhere. confirmation of identity is what they call it.
Correct.
And then you have
Number 3 is that he understands
understanding
language.
The
Whether he
language.
could understand the proceedings in English or he will need an interpreter. They're gonna try to determine that here.
Also, he's going to be made to choose from a list of accredited ICC
Yes.
lawyers.
That's right.
And if he will want a lawyer or if he will waive having a
His
lawyer,
right.
instead of having a lawyer.
But we know at this point that former ES Majaldea.
Majaldea.
No, but we don't know if Majaldea is accredited by the ICC.
Hindi siguro.
Oo,
It's not.
I really doubt it.
Yeah.
Eh.
Hindi siguro.
We saw the list eh.
Oo, so ang ano ko lang ang sigurado ko kasi sa grupo niya is si
Harry Roque. Correct.
Si Majaldea, baka he's the lawyer now while he's appearing to dun sa pre-trial for this phase, pero not for the trial phase. Baka iba
Yes.
yun ang ICC accredited talaga.
Yes.
So yun, he will have to choose. So,
Saka baka pwede naman siya magpa-accredit.
but I don't know
Pwede kaya
how
That's
fast that goes.
probably a long process. Yeah.
And also familiarization yun eh.
Oo.
Pero si Ruben Carranza, another international lawyer, was saying this is going to be more of a procedural appearance than a substantial appearance. In other words, they are not going to go into the details yet of the charges, only if the accused understands the charges. Hindi pa dun sa bahagi na establishing what the charges are and how
Hindi pa ito
substantial they are.
yung what they call here an arraignment. This is not the part where he enters a plea because actually yung arraignment here is not there's not a direct equivalent
Matagal pa yun.
sa ICC, correct. Sa next step pa yon, yung the closest thing that they have to an arraignment. So this is just the part where he will, I don't even know if he'll be allowed to speak in this instance. Probably just to answer the questions, no? I don't know if he'll be allowed
if he
to.
understands, for example, the charges, if he's Rodrigo Duterte, if he has a cedula.
May said,
Oh, yun, ganon. Tama. Tama yan.
Mga ganun bagay ba? Ang
yes
sabi
or no lang
Foreigner
siguro.
yan eh.
Ang sabi nga ni Attorney Carranza, don't expect drama today just to set
Very procedural.
just to set expectations. However, you never know kasi it might be procedural pero of course it also depends on how the former president reacts or acts in front of the pretrial chamber.
Yan nga sasabihin ko. Alam niyo naman yan si Rodrigo Duterte
nga eh.
is very unpredictable.
So
Baka siya mag-question dyan sa mga judge.
there you go. So while it is going to be procedural dapat or technical lamang, you don't know where it's going to head later. And that's what
Alam
we
mo
have to
naman
watch
yan.
out
Baka
for.
bigla sabihin niya, what am I doing here? Di ba? Hindi mo naman mapigilan yan kapag nag-umpisa na yan magsalita.
Well, we don't even know at this point whether he'll be, given a chance to speak, right? Or naka-mic off lang siya until he's asked a question. So we'll all find out. We also know last night na he was given consular assistance already. Siya mismo nagsabi that he underwent medical checkup and he is generally fine. This is confirmed by the Embassy of the Philippines in the Netherlands. He also requested a visit by the embassy officials during which he said, he asked for assistance to see his counsel as well as to see a family member. Of course, we know that Vice President Sara Duterte is there, pero hindi niya specify which family member he's talking about. But of course, we know she's there. And then also, last night, we know that Duterte was able to talk to former ES Majaldea on the phone.
Finally, kasi kahapon naghahanapan sila.
Oo nga, oo.
And si Bill, and si ES was saying na it's part of a grand plan to kidnap
The Duterte.
apparently by the ICC.
Yeah,
Parang,
sabi niya, lokohan na to because he couldn't get a hold of Duterte.
Merong interesting case. Kasi yan sinasabi nila, sabi niya, I will take full responsibility. Ito na yun, di ba sinasabi niya yan lagi? I have your back, ako lang ang mapupunta sa kulungan. Pero dun sa Canada, merong report ngayon It's an interesting story. Isang former police mobile patrolman lang siguro to kasi mobile na na-assign sa Tondo and he participated in Tokhang for 3 months lang umalis sa police. Tapos gusto niya mag-asawa, yung asawa niya pinitisyon siya para tumira sila sa Canada, ni-reject ng Canada.
Yes, na-deny.
Because of his role in Tokhang. because of his role in Tokhang. Kasi complicit daw siya for crimes against humanity, although wala siyang kaso. Kasi voluntary daw siyang sumama sa, yun ang investigasyon ng Canada. Voluntary daw siyang sumama dun sa mga patrol, nag-participate siya sa mga katok-katok, he's a member of the Drug Enforcement Unit ng Tondo Police. Kaya
Okay.
ni-reject siya. Oh, based on it. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They do look into the background with these kinds of things. Yung immigration application process, they're very stringent. I know this for a fact. And
Yes.
yeah, it's not surprising that talagang, they went deep
Yes.
into his background. Especially
Kaya
with all the
yung sinasabi, may impact din siya sa mga mabababang ranggo na sinasabi nila sumunod lang sila, di ba? Yun ang sinasabi eh. A presumption of regularity, it didn't wash with the Canada immigration. Ni-reject yung residency application.
Okay. Okay, Bok, let's bring in our first guest for today. Well, actually, a reporter for today. Si Bril Montalvo from Davao City. Kasi we may not have that much time for him. Bril, are you there? Bril, kamusta sa Davao?
Nandito pa rin tayo. Yes, Bok, nandito pa rin tayo sa labas ng bahay ni former President Rodrigo Duterte dito nga sa Doña Luisa subdivision dito sa barangay Matina, Playa. At sa ngayon, Bok, ang sitwasyon dito ay meron pa rin nakabantay ng mga supporters ng dating Pangulo dito sa harap ng kanyang bahay. At sa ngayon, ay may mga may mga lalaki din dito na naglagay ng mga malalaking tent dito mismo sa harap ng bahay ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. So unlike kagabi, ay medyo kaunti pa ang mga tao dito, mga supporters ng dating Pangulo, and expected na mamayang hapon or pagdating ng gabi ay pupunta dito ang mga taga-suporta ng dating Pangulo para magsagawa na naman ng another prayer rally, Bok.
Bril, siguro alam ng mga tao dyan na mamayang gabi, no? Mamayang gabi sa Pilipinas, yung kanyang unang appearance sa ICC, yung pre-trial, what do you call that? It's a pre-trial...
confirmation of charges
Okay.
hearing.
There you go.
The first time he will face the court.
Nakaabang ba mga tao dyan para mamayang gabi? Unang-una, alam ba nila na meron mamayang gabi? At pangalawa, nag-aabang na ba sila?
Bok, tama ka nga dyan, no? Mamayang gabi ang pre-trial conference nga nitong kaso ng dating Pangulo dyan nga sa International Criminal Court. At nakausap din natin dito ang ilang mga taga-suporta. At sabi nila ay nakita nila at narinig nila, nabalitaan nila sa social media itong ang mangyayari mamaya sa pre-trial ni Digong. At sabi nila ay nandito daw sila at kung may panahon daw ay manonood daw sila through online na lang daw po.
Okay. Okay, so nakabanga sila.
Bril, may kumakalat na mga storya na magkakaroon daw ng raid dyan sa bahay. Ano ba yun?
Tama ka nga dyan, Ami. Actually, kahapon pa ng gabi nang tumunogo ang itong impormasyon na magre-raid daw ang tauhan ng pulisa dito sa bahay nga ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa Matina. At walang kumpirmasyon kung anong unit ng PNP ang mag-raid dito. Kaya dumagsa dito ang mga taga-suporta ng dating Pangulo at kanyang mga kapitbahay. Nandito ang mga kapitan ng ilang barangay ng lungsod at maging ang ilang kanilang mga abogado ay napasugod dito sa hapon ng malamang i-raid umano ang bahay ng dating Pangulo. Pero pinapulaanan niya ng Davao City Police. Kanina nga ay nakausap natin si Davao City Police Chief Colonel Hansel Marantan at sabi niya na fake news umano ang nasabing pag-raid dito sa bahay ni Digong. At kung meron man ay huhulihin daw nila kung sino man ang magre-raid dito sa bahay ni Digong. Kasi nga wala daw coordination sa kanila, walang hindi nila na-inform or hindi sila in-inform if ever may mangyayaring raid dito sa bahay. Pero hanggang sa ngayon, sa mga oras na ito, ay wala pa namang nangyayaring raid dito sa bahay ng dating Pangulo. Bo?
Okay.
Lastly, Bril, just very quickly, I understand nakausap mo na si Veronica Kitty Duterte. What was that like? Kamusta naman?
Yes, tama ka nga dyan, Reg. No? Eksklusibo ko nga nakausap kagabi. Ito nga si bunsong anak ni Digong na si Kitty Duterte. At sabi niya naman na nagpapasalamat siya sa mga taga-suporta ng pamilya Duterte at sa kanyang amang si Digong sa walang sawa nitong suporta ng mga Dabawenyo at ilang mga tao dito sa Mindanao. Kasi nga, hindi lang mga Dabawenyo ang nandito. May mga taga-ibang lugar nga ang pumunta dito. Katulad na lang kanina yung na-interview natin taga Coronadal, South Cotabato, may taga Sultan Kudarat na pumunta dito para makisa at sumuporta sa dating Pangulo. At sabi ni Kitty na maging alerto lang umano ang mga tao dito na nagbabantay sa sa labas ng bahay ni Digong. Kay if ever umano na may mangyayaring raid, at least nandito sila, nakabantay sila. Kasi nga, wala na umanong tiwala si Kitty Duterte sa pulisya. Baka umano na magtatanim sila ng mga ebidensya against sa kanilang pamilya. Kaya sabi ni Kitty na maging alerto umano ang mga nagbabantay dito sa kanilang bahay at kanilang mga taga-suporta. If ever mangyari talaga itong raid na sinasabi ng kumakalat na impormasyon.
Do we know if may plans siya to go to The Hague? To try to,
Reg, natanong nga natin din si Kitty Duterte kung may plano ba sila nga pupunta sa The Hague, Netherlands, para bisitahin doon ang kanyang amang si Digong. At sabi niya, sa ngayon ay pinagplanuhan pa nila kung pupunta sila doon. Kasi nga, natanong natin si Kitty kung nasaan sila ngayon, kung nandito ba sa Davao City, kung nasa bansa ba o nakaalis na ba ng Pilipinas. Ang sabi niya, hindi pa muna pwedeng sabihin kung nasaan sila ngayon or saan ang kanilang exact location ng kanyang inang si Hanilet Avancenia for their security purposes. Yun yung sabi ni Kitty, Reg.
Okay. We'll leave that there. Thank you so much for your report, News 5 correspondent Bril Montalvo.
Thank you, Brielle.
Thank you, Bill.
By the way, side story lang, no, yung one of the other things that was surprising pala na sinabi ni General Torre was that si Hanilet actually was asked to board the plane.
Yeah.
Siya dapat.
Ayaw
But
daw
she
niya.
refused. Although he didn't say why.
Kaya parang napilitan si Medialdea.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
sabi ni Medialdea kapon
Oo.
napilitan lang siya. Akala ko siyang abogado dapat.
Well, siya naman talaga mag-end up abogado. Pero it's surprising na si Hanilet turned down the chance to go. I don't know if that was a strategy. I don't know if they were thinking, no, it's better that she stay here para
But I think that's also part of SOP when they were in power. Na as much as possible, the family does not stay in one aircraft. Family members. Don't know if that makes sense pa in a presidential form of government, pero in a monarchy, yes, it does.
Yeah.
But in a presidential form, hindi naman kasi yan succession dapat.
Nasosobrahan ng panood si Ed ng Netflix.
ng The Crown. But speaking of flight, we were talking yesterday about the flight, and today we have confirmation that the government paid for the flight
The charter.
to Rotterdam. Sabi ni Yusek Claire Castro, the government funded the flight as part of its assistance to Interpol. And the reason we were discussing this, for those who don't understand, is we're trying to figure out exactly how much cooperation or how much did the state help along this process, right? That's what we're trying to get at. And they said, there was also a comment from Yusek Castro saying, sabi niya, they have said all along that they will not cooperate with ICC, but they never said that they will not cooperate with Interpol, is what she's saying, which,
Which is also true.
which is also true.
You've said it before.
Oh,
Hindi pa rin natin alam kung sino may-ari ng Gulf Stream.
yes. Well, we're still tracking that down, pero it's relevant to the discussion because we're trying to figure out the extent of the cooperation of the state, especially since there was talk na they actually let in the investigators, the ICC investigators, as early as 2023. Again, that's just talk. We haven't confirmed that, pero we're trying to piece it together.
Nila Crispin Remulla, hindi naman daw nila mapipigilan yung mga yan na pumasok dito informally, even as tourist, at makipag-usap kahit kanino as long as it's not a formal investigation.
Or unannounced
Hindi nila
investigation.
mapipigilan And they cannot stop people from submitting affidavits or talking to any investigator, whether online or in person dito sa Pilipinas.
Yeah.
Eh, wala naman tayong
Oo.
Even if we're not cooperating with the ICC, pwede naman dumating yung mga dito on a personal
Yes.
Travel,
Unannounced, sabi nga ni
travel
Bo.
purpose.
Oo. And it's interesting kasi we also found out that the warrant was actually issued February 10. Pero na-unseal lang siya closer to when they were ready to serve it. So it means that the preparations for this have been underway for a while, right? That's why ready na yung jet, ready na yung police force, everything was ready.
Ready na yung pizza.
Yeah, it was in one day they were able to do it all. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Di ba
let's-
sinabi niya, kinikwento yun ni President Marcos during his late night, one of his rare late night press conferences, na we activated, di ba sabi niya?
Tama, yun na nga.
Nag-activate sila
Yeah.
ng action plan nila.
Yes.
So handa na sila, alam na nila.
Yeah, so the verb activate there tells you a lot. Na parang, okay, we know what's gonna happen and we had planned for it and today's the day. Somebody pulled the trigger. Yun na yun. Okay, let's
Yes.
bring in our second guest. We've got attorney Gilbert Andres, lawyer to families of alleged EJK victims. He joins us via Zoom from the Netherlands. Good afternoon. Good morning there, attorney Andres.
Hi, sir.
Thanks for talking to us again.
Hello, attorney.
Magandang hapon.
Gandang hapon po sa Pilipinas.
Okay, Bo,
Okay.
go ahead.
Sir, give us a sneak preview of what we expect later. Kasi what we know so far is it's mostly procedural. Wala pang ganong substantial. Pero in effect, what do we expect? And is there any possibility of fireworks considering the nature of the accused?
Just to be clear and just to clarify, this is not really the pretrial. It's just the initial proceedings.
Okay.
This is not the confirmation of charges. This is the initial proceedings under Article 60 of the Rome Statute. Now, what will happen in an initial proceedings? Basically, three things. First, they will identify the suspect. Next, the pretrial chamber will verify that the suspect understood the charges under the arrest warrant. And then third, the pretrial chamber will verify that the suspect understood his rights under the Rome Statute. And that fourth, whether or not the suspect will actually apply for interim release. Now, I'm using the word suspect because this is not yet confirmation of charges. But
Okay.
if the charges are confirmed, that's when the person will now be called a defendant. That's a very ICC terminology.
Hindi siya accused like in the Philippine context.
Actually,
Yung
more
defendant at accused pareho.
of if it's an international criminal justice procedure, it's more of defendant rather than accused. That's the terminology they use. But for all intents and purposes, they're just the same. The defendant is the
Yes.
accused.
Oh, okay. So this is not yet the confirmation of charges hearing. Kasi we were told ito na dapat yung next step.
correct.
Within days dapat ito na yung confirmation of charges. Okay, so this is the
Just
step
to
before that. Yeah.
Just to clarify, since the confirmation of charges will be scheduled afterwards, because it will take the court is given a reasonable time. In fact, the parties, both the prosecutor and the defense, will be given reasonable time. Because remember, in the confirmation of charges, the prosecutor will be given the chance to show that there is actually sufficient evidence to establish substantial grounds to believe that the person committed the crime charge. And then the defense will also be given the opportunity to actually object to the charge or challenge the evidence of the prosecutor or present evidence. Hence, both sides, the prosecutor and the defense, they need reasonable time to prepare for that. Kaya po hindi pa po ito yun. At hindi pa po
Okay.
in the next few days.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you, attorney.
Sir, how
Attorney,
soon would that
yung mga
happen?
yung mga proceedings bang yan is public? Meaning,
Actually, public po siya.
halimbawa kahit sino pwedeng mag-walk-in at manood.
Okay. Public po siya. That's the principle because it should be a public criminal trial. But
Yes.
as everyone can walk in, dahil po there's a limited number of seats in the public
Yes.
gallery, in every trial chamber proceedings, kailangan po ang kanila pong procedure ngayon ay mag-email. Oo. Kaya first come, first basis po siya. Only because of that. But I want to add that there's actually a live feed, but it's not a live feed. It's an online view. And it's 30 minutes delayed for security reasons. So it's really available in person and online. You just look at the website of the ICC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, is the accused or the suspect allowed to talk at all, or he just has to respond to whatever questions the judges will throw at him? I asked that kasi, si ang dating Pangulo, he tends to perorate sometimes at great length. So alam mo yun, parang sa video, okay, pag nahawakan yung microphone, tuloy-tuloy na yan. So what do you expect from that as far as the rules are concerned?
Actually, this will just be minutes, so I don't think it will be more than an hour. Oo, kasi this will really be just questions na, have you read, So these are really very, it's not substantive na mga questions. So the President or the Duterte may actually speak, that's is opportunity, or that's pwede niyang gawin yun. Pero it's really mostly the counsel. In fact, if you look at the tradition and the practice of the ICC, it's really the counsel who speaks on behalf of the client. At actually, if you look at the setup ng ICC hearings, you can sense the majesty of the law. So I don't think Mr. Duterte can actually perorate in this instance.
But sir,
Hindi naman na tumatalab yung kay President Duterte. But anyway, attorney, yung magpe-preside over the proceedings, sila rin yung magta-try.
No, Ami. It's actually the pretrial chamber, the pretrial chamber 1, which actually issued the arrest warrant. Now, if the confirmation charges, the decision or the resolution of the PTC is that it will proceed to trial, it will be given to a trial chamber. And that's still to be determined.
This
So
is
hindi
all...
pa natin alam actually kung sino yung mga judge. Kasi may mga lumalabas na yan na
Sa pretrial chamber 1, sila po yun. Kasi they're the ones who issued the arrest warrant.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So they
sila
know
nag-issue ng arrest. Will they try it?
No.
They will not try it. It's a trial paper that will still be determined after the confirmation of charges.
Sir, we're looking at images.
Under Article 61 of the Rome Statute.
Yes, sir. Sir, we're looking now at images of the judges ng pre-trial chamber. These are three ladies. I understand the presiding judge is Romanian, and then the other one is from
Mexico and from Benin.
Yeah, in Benin. Just to put that out there.
Context din, there's really a mix of jurisdictions, because remember, there's common law jurisdiction, there's a civil law jurisdiction, there are mixed jurisdictions such as the Philippines. So we're very unique. We're American common law, and we're actually Spanish civil law. That's why para po hindi sumobra yung isang jurisdiction, may mix talaga of jurisdictions as much as possible in every pretrial chamber or trial chamber or appeals chamber.
Right. The part where he is assigned an ICC accredited counsel, how does that work? What if he doesn't, ano yun? They just give him a list of names, or can he nominate his own counsel? How does it work, attorney?
Well, in fact, it's okay. The principle is that only lawyers who are accredited to the ICC list of counsel can appear before the ICC. Now, it's actually a public list, so any accused, any defendant, any suspect can actually look at it. Now, doon lang siya talaga limited sa list na yun.
But there are very few Filipinos on the list. That's
There are
the
only
problem.
5.
Yeah.
Now, I will surmise this. I will surmise that due to the circumstances, Mr. Mijaldea was actually emergency accredited. That's my surmise.
Yun tinatanong ko, how quick? Pwede pala yun, merong emergency accreditation.
It's really very exigent circumstances. So I'm only it's really a hypothesizing. Oh.
Oh, you're saying that this might be the case, but we don't know that for sure.
Do not know that for sure. But if we look at the principle, since only lawyers who are accredited can appear, maybe that had been the case for Mr. Mijaldea.
So the court
Have you
allows
met
some
any of the,
leeway.
the defense lawyers? Halimbawa si Harry Roque, nandiyan na ba?
That I cannot know. You have to ask him directly.
Yes, sir. Pero sir, you're very familiar with Harry Roque.
Yes.
No?
I'm familiar
Used to be
with
colleagues.
Attorney Harry Roque, yes. So
So you would know. You
Ay,
know.
hindi
You
pa
would
kayo
see.
I don't
nagkikita
know as
dyan.
to his whereabouts. I'm only familiar. Ninong ko po siya sa
Nobody
kasal.
knows
his
Hindi
whereabouts.
may tatanggit ko yun. Ninong ko po siya sa kasal.
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Pero nobody
Kaya
knows where he is.
hindi naman kinancel yung ano niya. Kinancel ba yung passport niya? He could go there.
No, I don't think
Ako,
it was
yan po hindi
canceled.
ko po alam. Kailangan nyo po talaga to get it from him. Any information as to that. I cannot speak for him and I will not speak for him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't think it was canceled kasi ito sa Senate, Senate summons na naman eh. Hindi naman siya court summon eh. So,
Yes.
in all likelihood, he's still free to move around.
Yeah, he
Maybe
can
just
he
to
can
watch
go there actually. He can go there.
this. And he's been traveling around, di ba? From Dubai, he went to,
Yes.
to Japan and all that.
Dito lang siya sa Pilipinas wanted.
So there. Sir, balikan ko lang okay. So we have what you only call initial proceedings. Pero yung confirmation of charges, how soon could that possibly happen? Or typically, how soon does that happen from now?
Oh, okay. Oo, it's really difficult to give a time period. Oo, kasi reasonable time eh.
Yes, sir, but
Kasi
that's subjective.
for both parties prosecution and the defense So that will still have to be determined.
But is there an average of sorts? I know we've only had 30 plus cases, pero when you look at the history of
More
the
or less,
ICC,
maybe 60 days, more or less. Not specific, more or less.
don't worry, sir. We won't commit you to that. Pero if you look at the history, it could be up to 60 days or 2 months from now bago magsimula yung confirmation of charges na hearing.
Oh, more or less.
Mahaba-haba.
Kasi remember, pati yung defense kailangan mag-prepare. Yung prosecution kailangan din mag-prepare.
Yes.
Kasi just to emphasize, there's also the principle of the equivalence of arms. Kung ano man ang binigay na resources at times sa prosecution, dapat bibigyan din ng resources
Yes, sir.
at time yung defense. Kasi the rights to a fair trial of the defendant, accused, suspect is very important in international criminal justice. Kaya hindi po pwedeng sabihin ng nino man na kinidnap po sila dahil sa ICC at hindi po pwedeng sabihin nino man na mayroong injustice yung proceedings po ng ICC because the ICC has that cornerstone. It's based actually on the Nuremberg principles. It's one of the foundational principles of international criminal justice.
It's called the principle of equivalence of arms.
Yes.
We learn something new every
Ano
day.
mangyayari pag sinabi ni President Duterte, I do not recognize the jurisdiction of this court?
Well, it means it's his legal
Right.
challenge. So it has to be determined by the pre-trial chamber.
Sa pre-trial na yun. Tuloy-tuloy siya.
Okay. That's a very good question. Actually, there are provisions in the Rome Statute that can be availed of. Oo, marami dyan. Article 19. Oo. So, isa po yan sa mga pwede pong i-raise and I'm saying this in a very hypothetical way.
Yes.
But if it will be raised, I think that the prosecution has very good grounds to say that this is admissible before the ICC, and the ICC has jurisdiction. Because
Yes.
I want to point out that no less than the Philippine Supreme Court and Senator Pangilinan versus Cayetano. In fact, we were also petitioners there, PCICC versus Executive Secretary, in a unanimous decision has said that the ICC indeed has jurisdiction over international crimes in the Philippine territory from November 1, 2011 until March 16, 2019. You can look at that in
Yes.
the Philippine Supreme Court unanimous decision.
They did issue that. But unfortunately, we've run out of time, so we will leave that there. Thank you so much for your time this
Thank you, sir.
afternoon. Attorney Gilbert Andres, lawyer to
Salamat po.
Ingat, sir.
Mabuhay po tayo
Thank you,
lahat.
attorney.
Thank you. You're watching Storycon on One News. We just need to take a very quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
We've got developing news and the stories behind headlines. Welcome back to Storycon, the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao.
And I'm Regina Lay. Still with us, Ami Pamintuan of the Philippine Star.
And let's bring in our guest for today, Central Law President and ICC accredited lawyer, Attorney Joel Butuyan. Sir, magandang hapon, Attorney, and welcome to Storycon.
Magandang hapon sa
Good
inyo.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir, thank you for joining us. We understand you're one of the few Filipino lawyers who are accredited sa ICC. Kasi we're trying to imagine what's going to happen later and what's going to happen when the pre-trial and the confirmation charges when they really begin. Could you give us an idea first of what we can expect today? What we can expect and what is not likely to happen today?
Okay, Ed, what's going to happen today is that the pre-trial chamber is going to inform former President Duterte of the crimes he is alleged to have committed.
Opo.
And he's also going to be informed of his rights under the Rome Statute. So he's going to be informed about his right to remain silent, his right to counsel, the whole caboodle of rights that he has. And he's also going to be informed that he has the right to apply for an interim release pending trial.
Sir, I'm particularly interested in sa right to interim release. I mean, I've seen it in some of the articles in the Rome Statute, but I don't see much detail as to how it is usually applied and what are the qualifiers for its application. Have there ever been any cases in the ICC where that right has been allowed or approved by the ICC for an accused?
Generally, an application for interim release is denied, especially if the jurisdiction over a suspect or an accused, subsequent accused, is obtained through a warrant of arrest. No? And if you look at the cases that have been either tried or still pending, almost all were denied. No, but I think there is one, but it concerns an accused who was only summoned and he voluntarily appeared for the court.
Kumbaga sumuko.
Yes, voluntarily sumuko siya and nag-volunteer siyang pumunta sa The Hague.
So he was granted interim release on that basis na hindi siya flight risk and he's not going to run away from the charges. Is that correct?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Okay.
Pero walang bail dyan, no? ICC, typically. Attorney.
Walang bail, Ami.
Yes.
And the considerations for, or the basis for the grant of interim release are basically two. No? First, you have to show urgent and exceptional circumstances to justify interim release. So napakabigat, no? And second, you have to show that necessary safeguards exist to ensure against the flight of the suspect, no? So dapat ipakita na there are safeguards that are made to ensure that he will not escape from the custodial estate, no? So if he's going to be released in the Netherlands, the ICC will have to satisfy itself that there are measures adopted by the Netherlands that President Duterte is not going to escape from the Netherlands.
Can you give us an example kung na extreme circumstance na pwede kang ma-release? Interim.
I haven't encountered a decision that really defined this phrase, no, urgent and exceptional circumstance. But from the way it's worded, talagang sobrang bigat. No, you really have to come up with a very, very convincing reason that will really make the pre-trial chamber and subsequently the trial chamber to grant you interim release. No, but considering the circumstances of the arrest of President Duterte and the influence that he and his family holds in the Philippines, I think it's going to be very difficult for them to satisfy this requirement.
Attorney, paano ba magpaka-accredit yung lawyer sa ICC?
Oo. If you are going to apply for a full list of counsel, you have to show that you have been you have had extensive experience in criminal litigation for at least 10 years. No, that's for the full list of counsel. Kung assistant to counsel, you have to show that you have been engaged in extensive litigation for 5 years.
Pero yung process ng application, kasi it's unverified, no? Na mukhang may emergency accreditation daw si former Executive Secretary Medjaldea. Is there such a thing na emergency accreditation? Gaano ba yung process normally tumatagal?
Yung emergency accreditation ni Attorney Medjaldea is only for purposes of the hearing today, the session today. No?
Okay.
Because you cannot expect the former President Duterte to immediately appoint from the list of counsel because it's just for like one thing lang, no? But during the trial, he has to get a counsel who is in the list of counsel, no? But the lead counsel who is going to be in the list of counsel can form his team, so he can get an assistant to counsel, he can get lawyers who are not in the list of counsels, Philippine lawyers who will form part of his team, but in arguing, in appearing before the court, and in submitting, signing the pleadings, it has to be the lawyer who is in the list of counsel.
Speaking of lawyers who are accredited by ICC, we just got word from our reporter Gretchen Ho in The Hague that Harry Roque is right there outside the ICC premises. Meron siyang video. We're trying to cut it so we could show you guys, but he is right there. We don't know at this point ano yung involvement niya, whether he's going to be commissioned as the counsel. We only know at this point na accredited siya ng ICC. So, we'll see. We'll find out tonight.
Is this the one? Is this the video?
No, and
This is
file yan.
This is
file
file.
video, sorry.
This is
File yan,
file.
file.
To be clear, this is file video. I think this is from Congress pa ata.
Sino yung Padilyang kasama? Sinong Padilla?
Padilla.
Robin Padilla, I think.
Si Senator Robin Hood Padilla, we hear is also there sa ICC.
Yeah,
we're trying to get
nakalagay
we're trying to
VP
get
Sara, Roque, and Padilla.
we're trying to get footage of that. Pero so far, the only thing we have right now is si Harry Roque standing outside the ICC premises na
Senator Padilla nga.
Oo. So now that
Si
makes
Robin
VP Sara, Senator Padilla, Attorney Harry Roque, and former ES Medjaldea, along with yung nurse, right? And assistant ni former President Duterte. That makes, those are the people that we know that are there so far at this point.
Attorney, so yung today is mostly procedural. Tama ho ba? It's mostly procedural and not yet the substantive portion of the pretrial chamber's role in the whole thing.
That's correct, Ed. Procedural pa lang, no?
But yes, sir.
Yes.
But how soon? It's actually the same question I asked kanina si
Yung confirmation of charges hearing.
How soon do we get to that part? The more substantial, which is in confirmation of charges hearing, kung saan magbabanggaan na yung dalawang panig in terms of proving or disproving the evidence.
Actually, mamaya, Ed, they will set the date for the confirmation of charges. Usually within 30 days yan, no?
Okay.
But it can be postponed if the defense is going to request for postponement.
Oh, so mahaba-haba talaga. Before it starts, I mean. Mahaba-haba pa talaga.
Yes, so. And in the meantime, before the confirmation of charges, merong mga pwedeng i-file na mga applications si former President Duterte, like he can file yung application for interim release. He can question the validity of the issuance of the warrant and the implementation of the warrant. He can again question the jurisdiction of the ICC over him, arguing that the ICC has lost jurisdiction because the Philippines is no longer a member.
I think that's to be expected, Attorney. We were already told that they will question the jurisdiction as well as the admissibility of the evidence. Pero what are the chances at this point that he could, there's talk that he might be allowed under house arrest, to be under house arrest, for instance. Forget about interim release. Interim release means like you're free to come and go as you please. But what are the chances, for instance, that
Parang nakita
let's
ko kayo sa
say,
isang interview. Tama ba yun?
under humanitarian grounds that he be allowed to be on house arrest?
The only way that he can be made to stay outside of the detention center is for him to apply for an interim release. So, yung way niya, he has to apply for an interim release. Yung house arrest, it has to fall under interim release.
So still under the same guidelines, whether whether they appeal on the basis of his health, humanitarian
Or
grounds,
age.
or age, or whatever it is, it has to still be within the guidelines of interim release.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Attorney, last na lang, pahabol lang ha. Paano kung sinabi ng Supreme Court, pinagbigyan yung petition dito, and our Supreme Court will tell our government, pauwiin nyo yung binigay nyo sa Interpol at sa ICC. Anong mangyayari?
Alam mo, Ami, that is going to be a far-fetched action of the Supreme Court because it's very basic that the Supreme Court has no jurisdiction to order the International Criminal Court to release or to bring back President Duterte. No? Pangalawa, wala na dito si President Duterte. So yung habeas corpus that they filed, moving na.
Sorry, thank you.
Sorry, sir.
Ayun.
The lines are being crossed. Sorry.
May habeas corpus petition eh. May pag-asa ba yun?
Wala nang pag-asa yun.
Hello po,
Amy.
Attorney Ani. Hello. Hi.
No comment muna, ha?
Oo, sige.
But you're based here.
Opo, ako po yung pinadala ng TV5.
Okay.
Ito po kayo po yung legal team.
Hindi,
Ano?
hindi. The VP, I'm here as
Hello po, maganda.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Attorney, sorry, last question. We know that the government spent for the jet, the chartered jet that flew Duterte to The Hague. We also know that they said, at least, that's the extent of their assistance in this case. Who now should pay for the defense of former President Duterte?
The ICC actually extends assistance to indigent litigants, no? So if President Duterte is going to be assessed as an indigent litigant, he's going to be provided with counsel, no? That's going to be paid out of the trust fund of the ICC.
Okay, so he can say he has no money, and therefore they can assign him counsel, assign him a team based out of the trust fund.
Yes, but that can be contested also, no? If he really qualifies as an indigent.
I guess he has to
Okay.
show his
Yeah.
sal-en. his,
You have to prove na poor ka.
Oo. Okay.
Okay, maraming salamat, sir.
You're welcome.
We'll leave that there. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much
Thank you for the
your
wealth of
time.
information.
Center Law President and ICC accredited lawyer Attorney
Joel
Joel
Butuyan.
Butuyan.
Can I just show?
Thank you,
Kaya bang
Attorney.
mapakita ito yung video si Harry Roque?
Yun na nga, because we were trying to cut it. But anyway,
I don't know if you can zoom in. Medyo magulo kasi naghahabol si Gretchen ng ano. But here you go. It's coming in.
To go.
There you go.
Sorry, thank you.
Okay, si Harry, that's Harry Roque walking to the ICC.
Sino kasama niya?
I'm not sure. Baka si Milo, baka yung kanyang asawa. But I'm not really very sure. He begged off from an interview muna kasi he's about to go in.
he also didn't answer the question if siya ba yung legal counsel. So we don't know at this point. Mukhang they haven't spoken, right? He hasn't spoken
Oh,
to
si Robin.
Ayun.
Teka,
Pakita mo.
hindi na pakita si Robin.
Si Robin.
Si Robin yan. Nakilala ko bigla yung bigote. There you go. Hindi yan. There you go. There.
Ayan na, ayan. Nakita na.
Ayun.
Ah,
So this was shot just a few minutes ago outside the Hague court.
okay.
Okay.
Sige.
Okay. I think it's time to go because baka paalisin na tayo ni Jay Truck dito.
But anyways, we'll post that on our social media, so just follow us there for continuing updates on this case. And again, we'll carry the live stream live tonight. One News TV5 special coverage of the ICC initial proceedings.
It's a
Hindi pa to
Friday.
yung confirmation of charges hearings, initial proceedings with Duterte tonight. Thank you so much for joining Storycon tonight. Today, Amy Pamintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star. Happy weekend. Join us again on Monday, 4 p.m. for Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
This is how we spend our Fridays. I'm Ed Lingo. You're One News, all sides, all the time.
News junkie. No? We are One News, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.